Hi. Today I am going to review the Corsair Vengeance M95 mouse in the middle of the afternoon with a bright window behind me. Forgive me, but deal with it. Here's the thing about this mouse. This is not the first M95 that I'm an owner of. I really like this mouse. I just bought a mobile system. That sounded nerdy. I bought a laptop that's big. It's basically for traveling for work and doing a lot of stuff. I got really tired of unplugging my mouse and taking it with me because I'm that dude that carries his peripherals with him. So I bought another one. That's how much I like this mouse. That's how lazy I am. This thing is awesome, and I will walk you through the unboxing because I just got it, and then we'll talk about it or whatever. We'll talk about it and the drawbacks of it because I've never deemed myself a fanboy before. If I were a fanboy, I would be a Corsair fanboy. I really like their hardware, but I absolutely detest their software. I'm a front-end web developer, so my specialty in life is creating usable user experiences. So Corsair, love and hate. Okay, so I don't really care about packaging. I've said that before, but I'm going to go over it anyway because I know some people really do. Here's the box. It's nice. It's thick cardboard. Yay! Shiny. Look, you can see the reflection of the trees out my window. Amazing. That's it. It's just a box. It has a. It's one of these cool boxes that has like the magnets on the side. Oh my gosh! And then you open it up, and it's like, oh, there's your mouse. So uber sweetness. It talks about the mouse. I'm not gonna read everything on the box to you. I'm gonna tell you what I know about the mouse because I've owned it for about a year now. As I unbox it. So forgive me. I'm kind of doing this on a Microsoft Surface. Hold on a second. I left this over here. Okay, so the box so far has been easy to open. It's got some just stickers on it, so I'm going to pop those open. The nice thing is the price of this mouse has come down dramatically. I think when I bought it, it was like $90 or $95. Now it's down to $70. I even saw a white version of this thing for like, I want to say $60. So it's come down a lot, which is really awesome because this thing is really sweet. I'm not a huge game. I mean, I'm a gamer. I like to play games, but I'm definitely not one of those super picky people. So this thing, in my opinion, freaking top notch. I also own the MMO7 from Mad Catz. That is a completely different mouse. I've been kind of on a hunt for cool peripherals, and the MMO7 is great. I'll do a different review on that. But this thing, as far as the way that it feels in your hand and it's good to use, is the reason I picked this over the MMO7. I'm a programmer, so I can map all of these little buttons to stuff. Those of you that play like World of Warcraft or whatever, I don't know, you can macro your things to actions, etc. So let's get this thing open, and I'll give you my feedback on whether or not it's right for you. Because I do play StarCraft. That's the game that I play, and I did for a little bit just to try out the macro stuff, but I know it's like against the terms of service, and it kind of feels like cheating to have macros in a game like StarCraft, so I don't actually use them for that anymore. But okay, here it is. So I got it out of the box finally. Took long enough. So the bottom. The first thing you'll probably notice about this thing is that the bottom is brushed aluminum. The entire chassis of this thing is a nice, really nice heavy-duty aluminum plate. It feels fantastic, absolutely fantastic. As you set it down, I gotta tilt this thing by hand. As you set it down, it's that aluminum coupled with these plastic there's these sort of like plastic mounts underneath it. They're super slick. This thing will work on. I've never seen it not work. It works on every single surface that I've ever put it on, as it ought to, since it's a high performance mouse. They still have the old logo on this mouse, which is really great because their new logo sucks, as everybody knows. This thing lights up when you plug it in, and I will show that to you in a moment. Here's the side view, right? We've got all of these buttons. There's like 9 or 10 buttons. The two up here are incredibly awkwardly placed. They're hard to reach. You actually have to like physically pick up your hand. But these are the DPI switches. They're only for swapping up and down in DPI. I never use this. I assume if you're a first-person shooter player, you would probably use this consistently. I don't ever touch it. And then this button, I don't even remember what it does. There's a button right here in the middle. I don't ever use this either because, again, it's really awkwardly placed. I use all of this. I use the side buttons in here. I basically use these. These two in the back also difficult to get to, but I've assigned these two to switching between profiles because I don't use too many buttons on the mouse. I have a macro keyboard as well, so great. Talking about the mouse wheel for a second. The mouse wheel, this thing is weighted. So like you've seen in probably really nice mice. Like I think Logitech has a bunch of mice that have weighted mice, and this thing is like this sort of step. It's a step mouse, right? So it pops from like it won't rotate freely. I really like that kind of tactile feedback. I don't know if some people do, some people don't, but you can't just fling it and have it go forever. But it does. You can scroll really quickly through pages and things like that, which is really nice. Clicking this thing is really nice too. They've got the pressure set up just right so that you don't accidentally scroll while you're clicking. I have no complaint around clicking and scrolling simultaneously with the center wheel. It feels great. It works great. The outside of it is a slightly rougher plastic material, which is actually really nice because it provides better grip on the side, right? This is my standard kind of mouse grip. I don't know what you would call that, claw grip, like whatever, but I do kind of rest the inner part of my palm against this occasionally. But this thing grips way better than, and I'm comparing to the M107 because it's the only other really expensive mouse that I've used. This thing grips and moves way better than the M107, but the M107 you have to hold it with a different grip, etc. So in the top of this thing is this really nice matte plastic. It's extremely nice. It does mark up over time with your fingerprints, whatever. I don't really care about that. It's more for me about functionality. But this thing is a dream to hold on to. The way that it feels in your hand, it's like sitting in a really expensive car. I don't do that very often either, but it's just, as soon as you grab onto this thing, you go, oh, I see why I paid so much money for this. It's comfortable. It fits your hand. I've got a pretty middle of the road size hand. This is great. It feels wonderful. As far as the button positionings go, there's 3 buttons up top. That it's kind of, unless you really train yourself, it's actually kind of difficult to find them. And you have to kind of practice and exaggerate that, but it sort of goes along with like typing, like learning how to hit like the number buttons up on the top of the keyboard and the dash button and those kind of things. Once you do it 1,000 times, just kind of like mess around with it throughout the day or whatever, you'll eventually start being able to hit them quite quickly. It's not a big deal. These 2 buttons, the forward and back kind of center buttons, are really well placed, and there's an ample amount of space for your thumb to rest here, and it seems perfectly placed that you can squeeze the mouse and not accidentally hit these buttons. This is, like I said, the reason I like this mouse so much is because it's so freaking comfortable to use. You can just roll back on this back button, and the way that they've contoured this here, there's no danger of accidentally hitting these buttons, at the expense of these buttons back here actually being difficult to reach. So that's that. The front button, same thing. It's got this nice, you can see how they've all got this kind of like dual angle. First of all, they're angled in 2 directions, but they also have this kind of front and back angle kind of bevel to them. It's really nice. It makes pressing these buttons actually kind of addictive. And then this button down here, this front button, is actually the third easiest one. So these 3 inner buttons are the easiest ones to get to, and those are the ones that I macro my most common actions to. This guy down here, same thing, also easy to get to, easy to find, because it's back. There's only 2 here. These 3 on the top, a little harder to get to, but not the hugest deal in the world. The reason I can't remember what this button does is because I mapped it to nothing, because I never use it, because you have to awkwardly come back here, and that's not very fast in my opinion. Whatever. Let's look at the cable. Actually, I skipped this. There's one extra little feature here. There's I'm gonna try and get it in the light here. So there's these little dots right here. You can kind of see. Those dots light up. it tells you which profile you're on. There's like 6 profiles, so you can set it, and then you can skip through the profiles. It tells you, you know, lights up which profile you got. So that's great. Onto the cable. The cable is a nice long braided cable. I'll get it up nice and close so you can kind of see it. If my camera will focus, which it will not. But you can see the texture of the cable. I always was kind of like, what's the point of the braided cable? But once you get an apparatus with a braided cable, you're like, damn, they should do this on all the cables. It's a really nice cable, and it's really long too. I don't know exactly how long, but compared to most mice, it's a lot longer. I can't reach the full length of the cable. It's quite long. The last thing I'm going to do is take you over, because I've got a mouse plugged. I've got the current one that I'm using plugged in, and so you can see, here's the operating mouse with the lights on it that's currently functioning. So I hope that you like the review. I hope it helps. Again, don't subscribe to my channel because I don't really care if you subscribe or not. I just hope that it helps you. Please have open discussion at the bottom. Please be nice to each other in the discussion. I hate that whole thing about falling apart into insults. Have a nice day. Cheers.